Right, hello everybody from all your various places in the world. So the card I've got today is kind of a bit of a mix and match. You know me, I like my mix and match. I've got 3 different ways of decorating it, so I will show you those. And there's another way of making a similar card, which I will be doing a tutorial for at some point. It's slightly different. It literally looks the same, if I'm honest. Pretty much, but it's done differently. So yeah, I shall show you that in a bit. So I'm going to show you my sample card that I made, and then the one we're making today, I'm going to decorate it slightly differently, but at least this will show you one way of decorating it. So far I've come across 3 ways of decorating it. So this is the card. It folds flat like this, and then let me just move my card out of the way. So you can't really see what I'm doing there, but if I open it up like that, that's how it sits on your mantelpiece. And from the front, it looks like that. Now, obviously, this is just a sample, so it's all a bit. I haven't matched the colours up or anything. So this is one way of decorating it. So you've got your 2 like little circles in here, or you could have, I don't know, whatever you want really, toppers, whatever you want. But I'm going to do it a different way in a minute. I'm also going to quickly show you my actual card that I've done. So this is my actual card, and this is another way of doing it. So with this one, instead of having the little circles stuck on the inside of the apertures, what I've done is I've actually put an acetate band across the front, and then you can stick your greeting on it, or whatever you want. You can stick whatever you want on there. So that's another way, but I'll show you how I've done that one afterwards. And then there's space to write on the back there. I've done 2 sections. If you wanted to, you could do 1 and then just fold it down the middle, but I just thought it might be a bit tricky, so I've done it as 2. And then obviously I just need to stamp a greeting on there. But yeah, it's quite, and it obviously folds flat. So a lot of people always ask me, how does it go in the envelope? How do you fold it? So it's literally like that. So it's 5 by 7. That's the footprint of it. So it fits in an envelope for a 5 by 7 card. But that's it folds flat. And then when you get it out of the envelope, you just kind of plump it up a little bit and like that. If you wanted to and you want to make it smaller, you can fold it in half, because obviously, because you've got it, you've got it folded both sides, you could do that. So as long as you don't decorate it like this, if you decorate it like this one with the circles, and if you wanted to, you could do it like that, and then that would fit in. That basic footprint is 5 by 3.5, so that really shrinks it down, makes it a little bit more chunky. But that is another way of doing it. So if you don't want to just fold it flat like that and put it in a 5 by 7, say, I don't know, maybe your postage doesn't allow 5 by 7s, or you want it slightly smaller, then you can always fold it in half. As long as you decorate it like this, or the way we're going to do it today, then you can put it like that. Okay, so let me quickly go through what you are going to need. And then also I need to mention the dies as well, because the dies I'm using today are from, guess where they're from? They're from Ihrer Studio. That's right, correct. So these beautiful frond like dies here, and I'm going to use them again today. Here's one I've cut out. These are from Ihrer Studio, and they look like that. So they're actually connected. But then obviously I've just chopped off that bottom bit and I've used them separately, but you can use them as one. They've got some lovely dies. They've just brought out some Christmas ones. I love this font. You'll see it in a minute. It's just very it's nice, because it's good for male and female cards. So that's the birthday, and then the happy looks like, she says, trying to pick it up, that. So there's your happy and your birthday. So that's those dies. You are going to need, for the main base of the card, you're going to need 2 pieces that are 5 inches by 11.5. So this is really good, because it means that obviously if you haven't got access to 12 or 12 and you've only got A4, then this is fine. You can do this. Now these are double-sided papers, and to be honest, you're better off going for double-sided card. If you can't, or you don't have it, then you can go for obviously single-sided, but then you're going to need a whole load of patterns and mats and whatever, and I just thought it's easier to go with double-sided card. The card I'm using today is from Trimcraft. It's a pad that's called Pretty Posy. I'm not sure if it's still available. This is what it looks like. It might still be available, but this is from a while ago now. So this is the pad that I'm using. And as usual, it's 200 GSM. You've got a mix of designs. You've got double-sided. You've got all sorts in there. But I don't know if that's still available. It's from like 20... I don't know when that was from, actually. It's from a while ago anyway. The Christmas papers that I was using a minute ago as well is from this one, which is Paper Addicts. All is Bright. And I think this was from 2019, I think, or 2018. 2018, 2019, something like that. Right, so what we're going to do, you also need, so apart from your two 5 by 11.5, you also need another piece that's 5 by 7. Now, I've done this to be the same sort of colour as the inside of my card. But it's really up to you what you want to do. So I'm going to bring in my scorer now. Right, so with the scoring, if you have a right way up paper, so I had a right way up design on this because all my Santas were the right, I mean, they're kind of a bit all over the place, but they kind of were this way up. If you've got a right way up paper, then you need to make sure that you score one way and then turn it round so it's upside down to score it again. Otherwise, your design will be upside down, okay? I've gone for an any way up design because it's a lot easier, and I would suggest that you do that to start with. So on this piece here, you want to score at 3.5, at 7, at 9, and at 11 inches. Okay, so if, for example, this happened to be right way up, which it isn't, it's an any way up, but say it was, say that was the right way up, what I would have to do is turn it round so it's upside down and then score it. Okay, but obviously it doesn't really matter with this because there isn't really a right way up. So now what you want to do is take your two pieces of card. Now you probably can't see my score lines very well on here, but you'll see as I'm folding them where they are. So what you want to do is you're going to fold, so your first line, which was your 3.5 line, is going to be a mountain fold. So just do as a mountain and make sure when you fold it, you line it up along the edge so it's not skewing off. Your next one along, which is your 7-inch, is also going to be a mountain. So we're going to again fold that over like that. Your next one along is going to be a valley. Okay, so that's your 9-inch fold score line is a valley, and then your 11-inch score line is a mountain again. Okay, so you've got mountain, mountain, valley, mountain. Okay, so hopefully you can see where we're going with that. So if you stand it up on its edge, that's what you get. Okay, so then with the other one, what I would do is turn it round so that you've got your 3.5-inch line on the left, and then your 7, then your 9, then your 11, and then just do the same again. So you want mountain, mountain, valley, mountain. So you end up with that, and then the direct opposite of that here, like that. So hopefully you can see that. Okay, so once you've done that, you then want to go ahead, take one of your pieces, turn it round, and you want to put red tape on this tab here. Make sure it's on the outside, you know, the pattern that you can see from the outside. Right, so you should end up with that, hopefully. So that's your two tabs. So now what we're going to do is I'm just going to turn the back round again. So I've got the two 3.5-inch panels facing each other and the tabs on the outside. So the tabs on the outsides. Now these two pieces here, you need to cut an aperture in. So I'm going to use this die, which has got a stitched edge on it, which I found. I quite like it because it is an oval, but it's quite a roundy oval. It's quite a circular oval. But you could use a circle, you could use a rectangle, you could use a square, you could do whatever you want, really. So I'm going to put that on like that, and I'm going to stick it down to get a bit of tape because I don't want it moving in the machine. I bring my die cutting machine in, and I'm just going to quickly run that through. like that, and obviously my tab's on the left. Now my next one, I'm going to put my tab on the right, and I'm going to eye it up. If you want to make it exact, you can put one on top of the other and kind of work out where it needs to be, but I'm just going to go by eye. Right, so once you've cut out your little apertures, you should end up with this. 2 pieces like that. You've got a little aperture at the front. So now what we're going to do, if you take one of them and just turn it over and do it so your aperture's at the top, you just want to concertina fold this bottom section up. Okay, and then you are going to take off the backing off of that tab there, and then fold this whole section down like that, as if you're making a 10 fold card, and stick it down. Just make sure when you are cutting your aperture, it's nothing that's going to mean that you see your tab popping out there. Okay, so that's one 10 fold card, so it looks like that. Okay, so we're going to put that to one side, and then we're going to get the other one, and we're going to do exactly the same again. And then that's going to go the opposite way, so you end up with 2 10 fold cards on their sides, look like that. Okay, now, oh, I've got my long way around, that way around. I'd left a bigger gap at the bottom, that's how I know they're the long way around. Okay, so then now you just need to bring in your 5x7. Now I did say we'd finish with scoring, but I've just remembered we haven't. So the 5x7 piece we mentioned, this is also double-sided, but I'm going to go with this red lacy piece. You want to bring your scoreboard back in again, and you're literally going to score it down the middle at 3.5 inches. And along the 7-inch edge, you're going to score it halfway at 3.5 inches. And then all we're going to do is we're just going to fold it in half along that line. So you're sort of making like a little notebook card almost. There we go, like that. Okay, now you then want to turn it over. This is the side I'm actually going to stick onto, and I'm going to use wet glue, but you can go ahead and use normal double-sided. I don't think you really need red tape. You can use red tape, but I don't think you have to have it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stick this onto that side there, and we're going to stick this onto that side there. I think you can all see where I'm going with this. It's very easy. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this side and then stick that down. So you end up with that, which in itself is an interesting card. But anyway, that's not what we're heading for today. So that's that. Then we're going to put glue on this side and do the same again. And then when you stand it up, you should have your card shape. And obviously it folds like that. So if you wanted to, you want to decorate it so that you can, decorate it so you can fold it in half when you put it in the envelope, you can do that if you want to. I've used 200 GSM, and actually I didn't know if it's going to be too wobbly, but it's actually worked out okay. Right, so on the back, before we start decorating, we're going to stick our pieces in here. So on the one I did before, the Christmas one, I've just gone and stuck 2 blank pieces either side on the back. But on this one, I'm just going to stick 1 for now. So I'm just going to stick 1 on this side like that, and I'm going to leave that free. I might change my mind and put some on later, but just for now, I'm going to do that. And really, if you want to stamp this, you're best to do it now. I'm probably going to have to add something later. Okay, so now it's the fun part. Now it's the time for decorations. So this time round, I am going to do it with an acetate strip going across both apertures, and then the happy on one side and the birthday on the other. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put my acetate on first and do that. And then once I've done the acetate, I'm then going to add my leaves and then my greeting. I think that's going to work the best. So let's just take our bits of acetate that we can barely see. I'm just going to lay that over like that. I always put it on the front of the card because then it means you can actually see where it's going to be, sort of thing, like where it's actually going to sit. So let's just get some tape on there. Right, I'm just going to put that one under, like that. Now, thankfully, I've got like a little lines on this paper, which is very helpful because it means I can kind of line it up. So it's going to be about there, I think. Let me just tip it up a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, about there. Okay, so there's one there. So if you can see that there. There's my little acetate strip underneath. Okay, and so then I'm going to do another one on this side. So apologies if my phone's going off. I don't know quite why it's going off, but I've obviously got messages coming in left, right and centre. So there we go. So as you, I don't know if you can see those two bits of acetate. We'll just sort of move it around the light and hopefully you'll be able to see it. Yeah, it's just sort of catching the light there. Okay, so then with that there, we're now going to stick our leaves on, because then I'm going to stick my greeting on the top, and I don't want my greeting to be hidden by the leaves. That's that. Yeah, I probably should have done it a bit more, but anyway, whatever, I've done what I've done. So now we're going to go ahead and stick the happy on and the birthday on. So there's your happy, oh, it looks all right actually. There's your happy birthday. So yeah, so that's that, and then I'm just probably going to I'll probably end up putting a few little gems on it maybe. I think I might put some gems on it. But that is basically your card. So it's nice and easy to do. If you want to do the little strip, like I did here, see the little strip here that kind of, you know, straddles the whole thing, then, and sort of bows out at the front, what you need for that is you then need to, instead of having these two little acetate strips, you need a strip that is 1/2 inch by 6.5, and you can either use card or you can use acetate, and you want to just score it 1/2 inch on either side and fold them over like that. Okay, and then you're going to put tape on here, and then what you would do, instead of having these two acetate strips, is you'd put these in here, as it were, like that and like that, and you'd stick it down flat. So you'd stick these in, obviously you do it central, but anyway, you stick them in flat, and then when they stick in, they then just bow out the front. So I just did that so you could sort of see how I did it. But yeah, so that's the different ways. So obviously you've got different ways of doing it. So that's one way. There's another way with the band across the front, and then this one, which is only my sample, so it's not properly decorated, but you could also do it with little, you know, circle bits or pictures or whatever, toppers on the inside. The other way you could do it, a fourth way of doing it, is having something dangling down. So if you wanted to, you could have something dangling down in your apertures. That's another way of doing it, and then put your greeting elsewhere. So that's 4 ways of doing it. So yeah, lots of things to think about there. So I hope you liked the card. Please go and check out obviously Coco Rosa's studio, which is where these leaf dies and the birthday die are from. Please go and check them out, and yeah, please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and then you won't miss it when I do a live. You won't miss my live, and you'll get any notifications of anything. Like if I post something, you'll get a notification. If you haven't subscribed, if you're watching it and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I want to try and get to 15k by the end of the year, beforehand if possible, but definitely by the end of the year. So if you can help me to get that far, that would be wonderful. And also, as I said before, I've got the super thanks thing on. I don't know how you do it when I'm actually live. I think there is a way of doing it. Oh yeah, there is. So where it says chat publicly as, and then your username, there's a little $sign in like a little square. So you can hit that if you want to donate and buy me a coffee, as it were. Bye everyone.